Hey YouTube, Brian here, and I want to make finally a video where I kind of explain my story, my life, and how I ended up in Taiwan. And this can serve maybe as an intro to my channel if you're just seeing this video and you've never seen any other video from my channel. You can meet me. Hello, my name is Brian. I'm an American expat living in Taiwan. I've been in Taiwan since 2012. Okay, so here's my story, guys, and how I got here. But just before that, I want to tell you guys a little side story. The background footage that you're seeing is footage of Da'an Park, which is a very large park in Taipei City. Probably the largest park in Taipei City. And I featured this park before in one of my videos a long time ago called Return to Taipei. So you guys can check that out. In Return to Taipei, I talk about Da'an Park, but there's really no footage of Da'an Park in that video. So in this video, you're getting footage of Da'an Park. Okay, there you go, guys. Alright, so my story. I got a couple of subscribers wanting to know what my kind of personal story is and how I got to Taiwan and why I chose Taiwan and all that other stuff. So finally, without further ado, without further rambling, here we go, guys. Okay, so I went to school at Boise State University and I graduated, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I think, like a lot of people of my generation, economic times are really, really hard, and even if you don't have a liberal arts degree, I have a liberal arts degree, but even if you don't, I think it's hard right now to make it in America. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. So anyway, I graduated after studying at Boise State, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I had a mother of one of my, let's call them long-lost friends, suggest that I might take a TEFL class or TOEFL class that her kids were taking. Her kids are about the same age as me. They're twins, and they're taking a TOEFL class, and so she suggested that I take this TOEFL class. So what is TOEFL? It basically prepares you to teach ESL, English as a Second Language. It prepares you to teach that abroad, overseas. It's like getting an extra certification. You know, it's its own little diploma thing. So I took that class, and part of that class is talking about where people might want to go, where they might want to, live and work and go abroad. And so I was pretty interested in East Asia, I think, from the start. And the places that came up were maybe China was a big one, and there was Korea, and there was Japan, and there was Taiwan. And those were kind of the big ones that came up. And so out of all those, I think I didn't choose Japan because I heard it was difficult to get a job there. And I didn't choose Korea for pretty much the same reason, that it was difficult to get a job there, or it just took a very, very long time to get all the paperwork together to get a visa to go and work there. And then, so that just leaves China and Taiwan. And China, if you know anything about China, is heavily censored. Their government is very authoritarian and draconian when it comes to freedom of expression and freedom of speech. And the internet in China is heavily, heavily censored. You cannot get onto Yahoo or Google or Facebook or YouTube without, using VPNs. But VPNs are a massive pain in the ass. And also, you can get in trouble in China pretty easily if you say the wrong thing. The wrong thing being criticizing China, particularly their government, in pretty much any kind of way possible. So I was really turned off by that authoritarian kind of stuff. So I didn't choose China, I didn't choose Korea, I didn't choose Japan, so that left Taiwan. And I really didn't know too much about Taiwan, other than that it was an island and it was kind of a country, but kind of not a country. And so I went online and I applied for some jobs. And one of them was interested in me. One company was interested in me coming out of Taiwan. And we held a Skype interview. And that kind of got the ball rolling. So anyway, fast forward, I had decided that I was going to Taiwan and that this company decided that they wanted me. So I got on a plane and I flew from my pretty much hometown. I'll just say San Diego because that's the easiest. So San Diego, California, and I took the train from San Diego up to LA, and then from LA I went all the way across the Pacific Ocean to Taiwan. And then I began training with this big giant ESL cram school company here in Taiwan that shall not be named. And let's just say it didn't work. It didn't work out with them. They didn't want me. After seeing me do some demos and stuff, they said that I just wasn't cutting it as far as they were concerned. So they dumped me. So I was only in Taiwan for maybe a week and a half when they dumped me. And yeah, I didn't know what to do. So I started floating around, going from hostels to hotels, moving around the island, constantly looking for jobs, right? But I ended up staying in my friend's tiny little apartment in New Taipei City at what is now the very end of the one branch of the Yellow Line out near Huilong. So anyway, I stayed with him, and while I was staying with him, he'd go to work every day, and I'd go to a small coffee shop and use their Wi-Fi and hunt for jobs. And so I hunted for jobs, and eventually one of them hit me up. And they were in central Taiwan. They were in a county called Zhanghua. And so they hit me up, and I got on the train, and I went down there for an interview. And the interview was successful enough, and they decided to hire me. So after I had been staying with him for maybe a month or two at that point, I got on the train with all my stuff, which was in a bunch of bags, and I headed down to central Taiwan. And I started working for this Bushiban down there. And if you don't know what Bushiban is a just Chinese word for cram school, English cram school, right? So I started working and living down there in a little township actually outside of Zhanghua City called Heme. And so I lived and I worked in Heme for a full year in central Taiwan. And while I was down there, I met on Facebook, funny enough, I met my future wife. She just hit me up on one of these groups that I'm on. I'm on a bunch of different foreigners in Taiwan Facebook groups, kind of things like that. And she hit me up, and we started to get chatting. And before you knew it, we were going out, and before you knew it, we were living together in my apartment down there. And then at the end of my year-end contract down there, they decided that they weren't interested in renewing me. They wanted to look for new people. So I had to leave central Taiwan because there was nothing down there. And me and my, girlfriend at the time, but now wife, me and Vivi, let's make it easy. Her name is Vivi. Me and Vivi moved from Home, central Taiwan, up to Taipei City, where I'm living now, pretty much in central Taipei City. And I started looking for jobs, and eventually I found one with a big, not the biggest English cram school company in Taiwan, but a very big English cram school company in Taiwan. And I started working with them, and then later, at the end of that year, my son Liam was born. He's been in a bunch of my videos. And then after that year was done, they decided that they liked me very much, so I continued working for this company, but only at one branch. Before, I was working at a few different branches of this company. And so then I was at this one branch. I finished working there, and I decided I wasn't happy there. I had been there for about a year at just the one, and so I moved away from them. I cut ties and I moved away from them. I stayed within the company, but I cut ties with that branch, and I basically went back to my old schedule, which is what I'm doing now. I'm teaching at a few different schools for this single ESL company. And that's my life right now, guys. That's pretty much the whole story. I've left out a few details, but nothing too terribly important. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's my life right there. I'm living in Taipei City. I've lived in 3 different places. I've lived in New Taipei City, specifically in Taishan District. I lived in central Taiwan in Home Township in Changhua County, and now I'm living in Da'an District in Taipei City. There you go. Life of Brian right there. So anyway, yeah, guys, it's been a crazy journey, a crazy ride, and you know, I really, maybe people think that, oh, you know, maybe he always had an interest in like Taiwan. Maybe he always had Taiwan in his sights, but I really didn't. Taiwan, I didn't know anything about Taiwan, let's be honest. I mean, I knew the bare minimum, and I didn't know any Chinese whatsoever when I got here, other than ni hao, right? So I could have never imagined if Brian 5 years ago came to me now and he saw me and we met and we talked, there's no way he would believe my life. There's just no way. It's been incredible, guys. The journey's been crazy and unpredictable and incredible, but I'm at a good spot right now. You know, life's not perfect, but my life is pretty damn good compared to a lot of my peers in my generation who are struggling with their finances because they can't get jobs and all that. And yeah, I'm really grateful that it's turned out the way it has. It's been one hell of a crazy ride, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty damn happy with things, and I'm very grateful to Taiwan for letting me come here and stay here and basically being my second home and making me feel 99 times out of 10, making me feel welcome and happy and content. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my life, my journey, how I got here, my Taiwan story. And I hope you will like and share and subscribe and rate this video and all that other good stuff. Okay guys, bye bye.